Okay, and fine. Do you think about success when you have these ideas about creativity? Do you think about the day where you're on stage with thousands of people and performing great poetry and stand up and doing everything that your heart's content? How do you view success and creativity?
Yeah, I do. Obviously, I think about success, and I hate that I do. I think it's actually a like it's a delusion a little bit, and I try to rid myself of that delusion as much as possible, because I think it stands in the way of doing stuff. It's like you'll be like, this is really embarrassing, but whatever. But like sometimes when you're doing stuff, it's like if while you're doing something, whether it's like painting, writing, or something, you're thinking about like, oh, this is like, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, this is so good, and I can't wait for people to.
And it's just like, that's just like, bruh, like you're not gonna make anything good like that. And so I do think about it, and I try.
But there is a balance, right? Like I want to talk about this actually. I'm not push back, but I want to present the other side, I guess. There is a balance between you wanting to share something with people because you want them to see it and relate to it.
Yeah.
And the more people see it, the more group of like that's more of it, right? But that's also success in a way.
Yeah. So, the reason I have a drive to like, or why I want to express, is because that's what I want to see more of in the world.
Exactly.
And I want, even in my day to day, I want to make people happy and smile, and that makes me happy. And that's just and I think it's very lacking in the average person. Like this, everyone is kind of like, everyone's pretending to be normal, and they're really ashamed of themselves, or ashamed of the thing that is actually special about themselves. And I really don't like that. It's true, and I think that's true for me, and like it's true for me internally, and it's true. So I just as much as I want myself to, express myself and to not think about what other people are thinking and do that, I want that for other people as well. And that's what I want to like bring to the world or whatever. So I think that's a good way to think about it. And yeah, but like to think about like whether it's success, fame, money, like I think a lot of people are actually like, being famous doesn't seem fun. Yeah,
it doesn't. Right.
Also having the pressures of being an artist, and sort of having to conform to what people expect of you. When you're, I even see it with like some relatively famous artists, where it's like people only they know you for like whatever you're like, if you're drawing and you're drawing like faces in a certain way, it's like, and that's what they want you to do, and to have to like deal with that and conform to that, that doesn't seem that fun. Seems either. Yeah. So I think my ideal is like being able to follow my interests and my passions, and then being able to like have food on the table, and that's it.
That's beautiful, and I completely agree with you. And like, I was clicking when you said the thing about people not understanding that they're not like there is beauty in every single person, but they do think they're normal, and it's like they have this idea that if they act normal then they can just get by and it's like they'll be okay. And it's like internally we have, I feel like especially our generation, or just not even just people, right, they have this war within them that they're being forced to do one thing but they actually want to do another. They want to express themselves in another way. And I get this a lot where people will be like, oh man, you said something that I was thinking internally for the longest time and I can relate to it. And it's like, yeah, of course, because everyone has the same experience.
Yeah.
Everyone is going through similar things. And when they see an artist do that, they feel that kind of like familiarity with the artist, because they feel like, oh, you can do that and I can't. And it's like, no, you can also do it too. And I think the more people that do it, the more we save whatever that means, the more we kind of like help each other, because like everyone is going through this like and there is an artist for each individual person who will say the exact same thing. You have to, be able to put their hand on that feeling that they have. And I think that's what the final question I was going to ask you too was like, that's what the meaning of life is. To me, that's what we're all here to do, because the meaning of life is such a big topic. It's like, oh man, wow, we're here. What's the point of us? What's the point of this human journey, human experience? But for me, it's like being able to share that kind of community where we can all kind of have that conversation with each other. Like that's why I lean into podcasts, because I'm like just talking to people and having that familiarity to where you can talk to and then have that kind of like, oh, I do that too, I think like that too, and showing other people that pushes that perspective on people, and I think that's what I'm trying to show. And then poetry is a way for me to express myself while I do that. But yeah, for you, what would you say
the meaning of life?
I always ask people this question. They hate it. Everyone hates this question, but it's something I always, especially when the first time you come on a podcast, I always like to ask people, what is the meaning of life, Matteo? What, in your experience, what answers have you gained? And please share with the rest of us. Yes, I know, but I guess it's fine.
I think it has this, well, not, but what makes life worth it, or it definitely, I relate to what you say about other people and connecting with other people, and connecting with yourself, and doing that through self-expression, also through sharing vulnerability, through giving, and I don't know.
I think a lot of what you said before was basically that. I think that's where the question came from, when you were mentioning about feeling like that's, connecting to people and like, sharing. And I think you do it through the things that you do, the fact that you try to make people laugh. That's also an answer there. The fact that you do poetry to express yourself, even though you understand that like the vulnerability in that is difficult, but it's not about, it's about me, but it's not about me. It's about me showing that I can do this. And showing other people that it's actually possible to be this version of myself. You can be an honest version of myself. And I think basically that's what that book encapsulates almost,
Yeah. But I also think there's a lot of reasons why you do things. So going back to like, there's a lot, like there's also, I think it's at an individual level, there's a need to like what we were saying, like create or express yourself, and but it's also sharing that with other people is a big part of it. And seeing that in other people is a big part of it, and truly seeing and getting to know other people, and I think that's also something which I think is important in a, and I've seen for myself in terms of figuring out, like as part of getting to know yourself and like living a life that more aligns with with yourself. I think one of the first steps is having that alone time and that time for self-expression. And then it's like, for example, to this poetry thing, I went alone, but then I went where I wanted to go, and then I met other people that are interested in that thing. And that's just, you have to be comfortable being alone, at least for a little bit. But then, you know, hopefully, and I think you'll find people who sort of you can connect with, and you have these shared interests and these shared things that, like, the ultimate goal isn't to be alone. It's not like
100%.
There's a like, you still need alone time, like, but it's an important balance.
Yeah, it's to find your tribe, almost find your community, the people that understand you. Yeah.
Because relating to those people and sharing with those people and being inspired by those people, that's way, you know, you don't do it alone. You know, nothing comes in a vacuum. It's like, you know, even when you're alone, you're like reading someone, or you're reading a book, or you're seeing images, or you're watching a movie that's
created by someone else. Yeah. 100%. And on that note, thank you so much for doing
pleasure.
This has been amazing.
How long have we been talking for?
An hour and probably an hour 15 minutes, probably now that.
Cool.
But yeah, thank you so much for doing this. I really enjoy this. I look forward to your journey. I look forward to seeing you hopefully one day stand up. I look forward to seeing you next time perform her poetry.
Yeah, yeah.
One of those, yeah. But yeah, 100%, bro. Thank you so much for doing this, man. It's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it.
I had a really, really good time. I really appreciate it. It's been lovely.
And on that note, thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye.